All right, guys, so we are at Triotech with the man that needs no introduction whatsoever.
With you guys, only with you guys.
Ernest.
I have 2 fans.
We're
both of them.
And a few more online.
But it's Ernest here at Triotech. He's the CEO, the mastermind behind Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair, the most adorable attraction.
It's a teamwork. It's a team effort, so obviously.
But he's on the team.
He's on the team for the most adorable attraction of 2020.
That's a good way. It's going to be something unique and adorable, and we're very excited. It's going to be something that respects the spirit of the original ride, which unfortunately I've never rode. You know, it was from 1975 to 1986. But we met a lot of people today, you know, who were teenagers in the 1970s, and they told us, "Wow, I love this ride. I rode it. You know, don't mess it up, guys. You know, it's an important
don't
ride,
mess it up."
And we won't do. You know, it's going to be a great ride. So.
Now, Ernest, how did this project come up? Did you guys go to Knott's? Did Knott's come to you? How did
the reason is because they had a 100-year anniversary, obviously. So they were looking, what should we do for our 100-year anniversary? So obviously, you know, a lot of people I've seen it on blogs. When are they? There've been speculation on, and this was like number 2, you know, on the rides that could come back. So, you know, basically they talk to people, the real fans, and a lot of people have been asking about, you know, what should we do for the 100-year, and this is the ride, Knott's Berry Tales, coming back.
I know you're like us. Me and Drew wasn't even born when this thing closed. I was 1 year old.
I was a few years, 5 years old.
What was that original ride? What was it like?
He said he hasn't been on it.
I've never experienced it, but
I'm sure he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's not like YouTube channels of POVs of this or anything. We don't know.
I think it was a ride with a lot of spirit. Obviously, you know, it's not a ride that was developed under a huge budget, but you know, there was an Imagineer earlier today, a Disney guy who rode that ride, and he was able to whistle, you know, the team to me. I'm like, oh boy, people remember the team, you know. So it's a ride that touched, you know, people really deeply. So they really love the ride. So
now, is it just a normal dark ride? Are we doing shooting things? Are we throwing pies at bears? How's this working out?
So it's a dark ride. You know, obviously we're going to reuse the vehicles from Iron Reef, but they're going to look different. Everything's going to look different. You know, obviously it's media. All the media is latest generation. So this is, you know, 2015 versus 2020. Things have changed a lot in the last 5 years. Much better graphics, and there's going to be a lot of teaming. So it's going to be a different ride, and it's not going to be a gun shooting. It's going to be throwing things. Yeah, you're onto something, but it's going to be different.
We're going to throw pies at bears. That's what I'm guessing.
We might throw stuff, but we'll be able to reveal that a bit later.
Oh, that's fair. I'm excited for it.
It looks very adorable. Obviously, Knott's in their big 100-year anniversary. There's got to be some sweet merchandise for this too, with these characters.
Yeah, they're going to be able to finance the ride with the merchandise, but I think, merchandise.
Boysenberry stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
And if you look at the graphics of the characters, I mean, you know, it looks kind of like 70-ish, you know, but it's modern. It's modern designs.
This one kind of looks like me.
And myself. We're based it on. You can charge me for royalties.
You can pay him in pies.
Yeah,
I like pie.
Free rides for you.
I like pie.
Now, we want to talk about Berry Tales, but we also want to talk about Storm a little bit, your other new concept you guys have here at Triotech. Let's talk about
Storm
that.
is extremely exciting. You know, we've launched Madwave Theater in 2003, then Typhoon 2009, 10 years. So this is the first simulator from Triotech in 10 years. So we've seen a lot of VR around, we've seen a lot of motion platforms, we've sold more than 4,000 simulators.
Jeez.
So we've done a lot of research, and Storm, I think it's the latest, but it's going to be the greatest. It's basically 3 titles. We're using VR, but it's attendant-free, full motion platform, and we're using the technology that was taken from the Legoland Ninjago ride. So
Ninja chops.
Exactly, hand gesture in the VR, first in the world, and you see your hands in the ride, and like in Mario Brothers, you capture the power-ups. So you get orange power-ups for the left hand and blue power-ups for the right hand. So it's very simple. You just do a roller coaster ride and you capture the power-ups, and there's like 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard for all 3 titles that are going to be available next year. No, I mean, we've had a lot of demand for that machine. So it should be out February, March 2020. So we have the first version here. You guys can try it. Let me know what you think. I really want to know what you think. But it's going to be a great ride, and we had great response so far.
That's exciting. Lots of good things coming here.
Yeah. And is it 20 years?
20 years. 1999 Georgia Dome, Georgia Exhibit Center, Atlanta, and we had a 10 by 20. I couldn't fit all of us three
No.
guys there. Certainly not. So we had like 3 arcade games. I'm telling you, they were not working half the time. I remember rebooting them every half hour because they were crashing. We had like 1 hotel room, and we drove down, you know.
From Canada?
From Canada. We drove down 20 hours to Atlanta because we couldn't afford the plane ticket back then. So, I mean, these were good times, but I mean, we've come a long way, and we're very proud. We have a big team of creative people, and
Look at the size of this booth now as Hyde spans around here.
this is bigger than IAAPA in 1999, just our booth. So, also we have a new version of the Dark Ride.
Oh, right.
So, completely new in terms of all the external with the new LEDs, new software, and our new movie is called Neon Ninja. It's a very, very fast-paced, Neo-Tokyo futuristic movie. You guys should try it and let me know if you like it.
Very cool. Well, after we do all the stuff you just told us to try, I think it'll be 5 p.m.
Yeah, so you'll be there for the happy hour.
Exactly.
All right.
That's
All right,
perfect.
Ernest, well, congratulations on all the
Thank you
success.
guys. We
Thank
love
you
you
very
guys in
much,
the
man.
loop.
Absolutely.
Come see us anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Easy. Start. I like Andrew's head.
So you catch the balls at every one. You have blue and orange, black ball. Don't touch it.
Ugh. We hit a car. Dodging the things. Up, green.
Yeah! I whooped you.
Wow. Huh.
Thank you, everyone. Well, thank you for coming, and welcome to the largest Triotech booth ever. We have a major announcement today. This is probably our largest project ever, our most important, certainly. We've been friends with Knott's Berry Farm for a while now. We've done a ride there. So obviously the rumor is true, as you've seen in the blogs and everywhere. Triotech is going to develop and build Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair.
Oh, how I still remember my first.
So this is the preview video.
Boy, how I still remember my first journey to the fair. The whole family crammed into that old delivery truck as we traveled through a frog forest, a fortune teller's camp, and a very weird woods. Ma and Pa always warned us to keep our eyes peeled for that pie-napping, crafty coyote. And with the big 100th anniversary coming up, what better time to gather my little cubs and return to the...
Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair, an all-new 4D interactive ride, coming summer 2020.
It's going to be a great ride. So obviously, for those of you who are too young or don't know, although the ride has been very famous, from 1975 to 1986, Knott's was host to Knott's Berry Tales, which was a great dark ride. So it's really it's been a challenge for us and to develop something that's respectful to the spirit of the original ride, but we think that we're going to deliver something that's going to be great. So next year, Knott's Berry Farm celebrates their 100th anniversary. So obviously Triotech, we're a younger company, but 20 years ago, 1999 was our first IAAPA show. I remember we had a 10 by 20 booth with a few machines. Most of them were not working very well, but we've come a long way. Now we have this booth and this following of people and a lot of dark rides under the arm, but we're very proud to work on this dark ride, and it's going to be our best dark ride ever. So the journey, it's going to take us on vehicles with a lot of special effects. It's going to be interactive, and instead of just shooting, we're going to put a lot of emphasis on the history, on the story, and so guests are really immersed in this attraction. So Triotech, the scope for us is going to be designing the attraction, we're going to build the scenic and theming, we're going to produce the animation, and we're going to implement the whole gaming system. So the goal for us, and this is what's very important for us, is to capture the spirit, the creativity, and the originality of Knott's Berry Tales. It's what made that ride such a great success. So guests will experience familiar places from the original ride in new and exciting ways. That's how we see it. Obviously, we're going to use 2020 technology on a theme that was very popular in the 1970s. We're going to try to stay as faithful as possible to the spirit of the original journey. Our team, with Noel van Genoegten, who's my vice president here, worked very extensively with Knott's Berry Farm, and they had access to archive material, a lot of black and white footage, and grainy footage, and a lot of basically archives. And they also met with some of the original people who worked on the ride, and I think we put a lot of effort into not just making this the greatest and biggest dark ride in the world. This ride had a spirit, had a story, and we worked on it very respectfully, and I think we achieved something that's going to be great, obviously. So this is our third collaboration with Cedar Fair. We've worked with Wonder Mountain's Guardian, which is in Toronto, and then obviously we worked with Knott's Berry Farm, Voyage to the Iron Reef, and Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair is going to be our third ride. So without further ado, it's my great honor to invite Ken Parks, who's Vice President of Entertainment at Knott's Berry Farm. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. We are so excited about the return of Knott's Berry Tales to our park. When we look at creating a story-based attraction for our park, we really want it to resonate emotionally with our guests. And the original dark ride, created by legendary theme park designer Rolly Crump, did exactly that. It was created back in 1975. It ceased operation in 1986, but it still connects today with our guests. This is an attraction that we are asked about on a regular basis. When will you bring it back? And we're so excited to finally answer that question. After all these years, we are going to bring it back. But as Ernest said, we're going to bring it back for a new generation of riders. So the Knott's Berry Tales Return to the Fair is an exciting new 4D interactive dark ride that will have you journeying through reimagined scenes that are reminiscent of the original attraction. So riders once again will visit and see the boysenberry pie factory, and yes, there will be the smell of boysenberry in the air. They'll go through Weirdo Woods, they'll visit the Frog Forest, the Fortune Teller Camp, and it all concludes with an exciting competition and blue ribbon celebration at the county fair. So we really wanted to make sure that we got this one right. We knew that there's such a legacy behind this attraction and what it means to all of our guests. And so we were able to reach out to Chris Crump and to Rolly and to actually sit down and have conversations with them to make sure that we were getting that aesthetic absolutely perfect, that we were not only paying tribute to the aesthetic, but that we were also paying homage to its creator. And so we have something special for you today. We have a little video segment that will give you some indication of some of the work, some of the original. If you kind of look through the screen, you can see some of Rolly's original concept work, and then the original attraction items, and then some of the stuff that we've been working on with Triotech. You can see once again some of Rolly's original work, how it appeared in the original attraction, and then what we've been doing to bring it into the next generation. As Ernest said, this is part of the 100th celebration at Knott's Berry Farm. We're going to be doing a summer-long celebration event that will begin May 15th and run all the way through August 30th. It will be filled with all kinds of amazing, unique food items. That's how we got our start as a park. Boysenberries and fried chicken, but we'll also have unique and exciting entertainment and lots of creative and one-of-a-kind merchandise. And so we think that bringing back Knott's Berry Tales will be the keystone into that celebration. So we thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Just before we finish, a lot of people were asking what Ernest is going to dress up as. But I'm disappointed to say he will not get dressed up this year. But we have a special treat for you. We've got some of our favorite characters. I'm going to put them there, and Ernest and Ken will go there, and you can all take a picture if you want. And this will conclude the press conference.